making first cut. Golly!
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your mega preview pod for this week's RBC Heritage. It's storylines, it's best bets, it's one and done. Joining me to break it all down, Patrick McDonald is here. Patrick, hello, sir.
Hello, long time no see. Long week with the Masters, but excited to get back to normal programming.
The grind does not stop here on the First Cut pod. Mark Immelman is here. Mark, you and I haven't had a chance to sit down proper in the last couple of days, but have you noticed the gap that is shrinking for you at the top of the one and done?
You know what? When I saw your group text, I was like, I could imagine that little grin on your face.
That's the one.
Little man, little grin. I saw the picture. Yeah, it
That's
was.
right.
I noticed the gap had shrunk, but 750,000, whatever it is, it's a pretty penny then.
Certainly is. I would take it. I would take an extra
no,
750K right about now. 20 million in the purse for this week. Kyle Porter is here. KP, hello. It is good to see you. Are you getting settled back in from your trip to Augusta National?
Yeah, it's great to be back. Took the kids to school today. Spent all day kind of running them around, and it's kind of jarring. Sunday afternoon, you're walking with two of the best golfers of all time, or in the world right now, and Tuesday morning, you're running four kids around the city of Richardson. So, now it's good to be back. It was a long but really fun week, and I think that it provided a lot of historical implications that we can kind of roll through.
Kyle, I can understand what you just said there, because I drove out of Augusta Sunday night en route to Metter, Georgia. Now, did you know there was such a place?
I did not.
No, Metter. It's just outside of Statesboro, where Georgia Southern is. It's north of Savannah, north and west. Because my daughter's high school state golf championship was being held in Metter on Monday.
Sure.
So I went from Augusta National, Rahm v. Koepka, and Spieth and Mickelson involved, to high school girls golf in Metter the following day. Talk about a change in scenery.
Jarring.
I think we're going to have to add the good fine folks of Metter, Georgia, to those who are angry about our location biases on
Canada,
this show.
Memphis.
Yeah. And
the
Metter.
list goes on.
Add it to the list. We should debrief here a bit on the Masters. We obviously did a lot of coverage afterwards, but this is kind of the first time a lot of us have been able to sit down in the same web room and chat it out. So Patrick, I'll start here with you. I saw the final round of the Masters was the most watched golf telecast on any network in the last 5 years, I would say. And Antonio Brown would say, business is booming. That was his thing, right? Business is booming.
Yeah. As a Steelers fan, I would know. So that's a good lead in for that. And I think there's a lot of reasons this year. You obviously had the drama with Liv and the PGA Tour. You had the Netflix documentary. You had Mark on Amen Corner. He was fabulous, by the way. Terrific.
Single-handedly accounted for 75% of those ratings, I'm sure.
Trevor was fantastic on his first call as well.
Trevor was good. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not even trying to pump any tires here, but both the Immelmans got very good reviews from Golf Twitter, which, by the way, Mark, is very hard to get good reviews from Golf Twitter.
I didn't see any reviews from me on Twitter, but I saw a bunch for Trevor, and I was super proud of him. I thought he and Jim were dynamites, the whole crew. I mean, I thought they put on a fantastic show.
Yeah, they're really great. And then you had KP with the writing for the website, Rick at the ones and twos on the podcast.
Oh boy.
And so the whole marriage of CBS, not to, pump our tires too much, just an unbelievable piece of art.
Patrick's annual review must be coming up. He's really working hard for that raise. Well done, Patrick. KP, you gave us one of your patented post-major championship threads on the old Twitter machine. You've had some more time to reflect. Anything in particular that you'd like to go down?
Yeah, I mean, I put a bunch of stuff out there. I thought, we only got to talk, Rick, for like 7 minutes on Sunday evening. I think we talked a lot about Rahm, and I think that, I'd love to get everybody else's opinion. I think that he's going to win a handful of majors. Is he going to win 10 like his caddy Adam Hayes said he might? 10's a lot. I mean, 5 is a lot, right?
25 in 10 years.
Hey, we got plenty of time.
Okay,
Not
cool.
yet. I'm a little worried, but I'm not worried. One of the questions I threw out there, Rick, was who ends their career with more majors between Rahm, Spieth, JT, Scheffler, Rory, Brooks, and DJ. I think those are those whatever that is, 6 or 7 names that I put out there, and I think it's so easy to just do like prisoner of the moment type thing. I think the difference is that Rahm he's given us like 7 years of evidence that he's the best player in the world for like most of the last 7 years among a couple of other guys. And yeah, I think I said this on Sunday. I think his major total now matches the kind of level that he's been playing at. Doesn't always happen, right? You get an Adam Scott, who I think is, you okay there, Patrick?
Are we losing the green screen?
I'm getting red just listening to you talk. I'll be right back.
Okay. That's probably for the best.
I thought I was having a stroke for a second.
You know, you get an Adam Scott who I don't, Mark saw more of him. I don't know that his major total necessarily matches up to like the level that he played out for a really long time. He was really, really good. And to only have one major, it doesn't tell, you know, casual golf fans, they only look at the majors, right? And so you look at Adam Scott and you're like, oh, he must have been okay. You know, he was awesome. Like he was really, really good. And so I'm glad that Rahm is kind of entering into that, oh, this guy must be really good sort of category, because he is really good. And I think he's proven that over a long period of time.
Mark, the other names on the list that Kyle threw out there for this exercise, I think he missed 1 or 2. So Rory currently at 4, Brooks at 4, Spieth at 3, Morikawa, JT, DJ, and Rahm all at 2, Scotty Scheffler with 1. It is very easy to just start piling them up for the guy who just won one, because he looks so unstoppable and you can't imagine how things are ever going to go sideways. But I mean, it's hard to imagine any single golfer out of that group getting 2 more. Like they're so hard to get.
Well, they really are. And we've seen, you know, the more you get, the more you start to expect, the more you expect, the more you put pressure on yourself. And so you start to get situations like Rory at Augusta National, where it becomes an exercise in the mental and emotional approach more than anything else. But I just want to look at it from this sort of tack where, not that NCAA college golf is where it's at. There are a lot of good golfers that come out of there, but we're getting an influx of players from all over the world. But when Jon Rahm was in college, he won the College Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Phil Mickelson did that, I believe. Tiger Woods, for his 2 seasons, did that, I believe. And all of the guys he beat handily are now a lot of them that he's playing against on the PGA Tour and obviously beyond. And so his record, and he looks at these guys, Rahm that is, and he looks at them and he goes, you know what? I've beaten you before. I'm going to beat you again. And I don't know about you guys, but when I saw the whole thing sort of shake down, and when we came back on the air, goodness knows, it's like 7:45 a.m. on Sunday morning, and Rahm's got 9 feet for birdie and Brooks has got 8 feet for bogey or par, or whatever it was, I was prepared to lay the farm on the fact that it was going to be a make-miss exercise, and the 4 was going to be a 2-stroke advantage for Brooks. And the whole time, there was like a sense of inevitability about it. And Rahm really didn't do anything special. He had 8 of 9 greens in the last 9, which was tremendous, but nothing was like flashy or hitting the ball into like special areas and stuff. He was just hitting it down the fairway, hitting it on the green, and almost, which was poetic in a way, imposing his will on the guy who imposed his will on people a few seasons ago. And so I looked at this, I'm like, this guy's a behemoth. He's got the gift, he's got the skills and stuff, but he has got a sense of confidence and belief in himself right now that is off the charts. And he really knows. He goes, I don't care who you are. All comers, McIlroy, Scheffler, Koepka, you name him, I've got you. And it was so impressive to watch how he just kind of ground them into submission. It was true. It was Tiger back in the day. It was Jack Nicklaus back in the day. The way he went about that final 26 holes, whatever it was, 28, 9 holes.
Yeah, just grinding on them, leaning on them, wearing them out. Patrick, that 2-shot swing right out of the gate on Sunday morning, which was the resumption of round 3, was essentially a little bit of foreshadowing for Brooks Koepka's Sunday in total. Just never really got the momentum rolling. And then I swear, Jon Rahm was, I mean, every time they showed that graphic of here are all the tee shots that have been hit in this round, the longest, straightest one was always Rahm's. And he just started asserting himself over the course of the next, 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah, I think Brooks didn't go. He went without a birdie for 22, 23 holes there on Sunday. Wasn't until
he made that birdie
13th.
on 8 in round 3, and then 13 in round 4.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like
not good.
No, you can't be doing that with Rahm by your side. And I was kind of highlighting. I understand the kind of inclination to say, oh, Brooks is back. And I know Kyle touched on this too, with his injury history being kind of
sketchy.
Yeah, we'll just say that, which knee at which time. And you look at his final round performances ever since Bethpage Black, where winning in the final round, 7-stroke lead, nearly gave that away, only won by 2 over DJ. 2019 Open Championship, I know he got slow played by JB Holmes there, but still wasn't great. 2020 PGA Championship, after he said, you know what, I'm not friends with Dustin Johnson. All the pressure's on him. 74 outside the top 25. 2021 PGA Championship, you lose to a 50-year-old Phil Mickelson. In this one as well, final round 75. So I understand, Brooks is back. I don't think he really ever left. I mean, he was only a year removed from 2021. You just take out 1 year of major championships. He was still right there in the mix of a lot of them. He was right there in the mix at the 2021 US Open too. Had a bad bogey late. But like Mark said, there's just a new apex predator. It's not Brooks Koepka, it's Jon Rahm.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Eamon Lynch's tweet? It was something to the effect of, it's going to be a tough scene when on Saturday evening after 54 holes, Brooks shows up for his green jacket and they're like, no, there's one more round to play.
There's definitely a take out there, Patrick, that Brooke, and I actually almost wrote this, that Rahm is the new Brooks. I don't know if they're pretty different in terms of like personality and the things they care about and stuff. So I didn't know if I could make that work. But it does seem like the majors kind of run through Rahm right now, and that's I don't know that he's separated himself quite enough that you could say that's been true for the last 3 years and will be true for the next 3 years. But it's a little there's something there, and I'm interested to see how sort of the rest of this year goes. Can I do just like a point of clarification on the Brooks stuff, Rick?
Please.
The knee thing, I was so frustrated all week because everybody just kept, and I'm sorry if any of you guys did this, everybody kept throwing the line out there of like, oh, he couldn't even bend over last Masters. That wasn't last Masters. That was 2021 Masters. And the next event that he played in, he almost won, the PGA Championship at Kiowa. Last Masters, he was fine. I mean, and this was what was, I didn't really know what to do with this. I asked Brooks in his presser on Thursday, he shoots 65 in round 1. I said, "What, man, like what? You were out of it this time last year." I watched Full Swing. We all watch Full Swing. Like what changed from last year to this year? So just injuries, man. And it was like, it was almost like he was trying to reference the 2020. I don't know if this is what he was doing, but it seemed like he was trying to reference the 2021 stuff. And everybody was just like repeating that line. That was 2 years ago. And he almost won 3 majors that year. He finished second, 4th, and 8th, or 2nd, 6th, and 8th, or something like that. And it was just like this weird thing we were doing that I think last year was some mental stuff. It wasn't, I mean, it didn't seem like it was physical. The physical stuff, certainly 2021. But if you're almost winning a PGA Championship 2 months out of surgery, then you've shown what your sort of like ceiling is for being injured. Like you can go win majors, or at least he can. That whole thing was, I thought, really bizarre all week.
I do want to say this, Rick, as it pertains to Brooks, because I think I mentioned on maybe the recap show, whatever day it was, I was like, I'm surprised at this. I truly am. Look, he did win the previous week, but let's be honest, Crooked Cat Golf Course is hardly going to knock you over with difficulty. Fairways are wide. It's comfortable for him. The greens weren't fast. There was no fright factor to it. Not Augusta National greens with crosswinds and swirling winds and all that sort of stuff, and the pressure of a major championship. So I was like, well, I was surprised at this. But I will tell you this, as a former player, I played at a moderately high level. As someone who's taught major champions, Brooks Koepka must have looked at Jon Rahm at one stage, even Brooks Koepka, and looked at this guy and go, I can't beat this guy. And that is real. And I'll point out thousands of golfers who've had that time when someone's at the top of their game. Now, unlike I'm not prepared to just cede all the major championships to Jon Rahm. A lot of stuff happens for a golf tournament to work out. One bad bounce, that could be it. You can finish one back, one lipped out putt. That's as fine as what the margins are. But looking at the figure that is Jon Rahm right now, the way he was driving it, because if he plays from the fairway, he is lethal, right? You cannot beat him. Every player kind of knows it. The Rorys, the Schefflers, all of them, and Scotty looks complete. Rory looks a little kind of shell-shocked-ish. Even Brooks, who was like the alpha, he must have looked at Rahm and go, I can't beat this guy. And when that happened, you started to see him sort of, the air came out of his balloon some in the final round there. And the putts that he was making for the saves, they happened less and less. Because to win, you got to make putts. And you started to see Brooks kind of look a little beaten there.
That reminds me a lot of when we were in Phoenix and we spent a lot of time walking with the Rahm group, and he was not good. He wasn't good. And he was in it until the 15th hole on Sunday. Yeah. Right. And it's like, how is this guy this good? It's like, it's very like when you watch every single one of his shots, like it's crazy how much better he is than everybody else.
Well, and if you, I mean, just I think some of the strokes gain stuff is we apply it over single events or single rounds in ways that are kind of unfair because it doesn't really tell a story over a single round, and it kind of tells a story over a single event. But if you look at a career, I think that's where you get into more of the storytelling with strokes gained. And there's only 3 guys since Rahm turned pro that have been over 2.0. 2.0 is like a top 5 player in the world, top 10 player in the world. And it's Rahm, DJ, and Rory. Those have been the most consistent, greatest guys over the last, 7 years. And I just don't know that the regular golf fan was like internalizing that with Rahm because he hadn't, done this. And I think that is shift. I mean, Masters and US Open that's a big deal. There's only, I think, 18 guys that have ever done that. He's the first European to do it. It's not to disparage the PGA. It's different than like a PGA and a Open Championship or a PGA and a US Open. It's Masters and US Open is big boy stuff. And let's go around the room. Who ends with the most majors out of that group? Brooks. So
here, just to recap, it is. Sorry, I thought I had it handy here.
Brooks and Rory have 4. Spieth has 3. Yep. JT, Morikawa, and Rahm have 2.
DJ was also in that group.
DJ has 2, and Scheffler has 1.
May I go first because I'm going to make a statement that you guys can kind of diffuse a little bit.
Sure.
Well, you reference Phil's got 5.
6.
Ernie 6. Forgive me. Ernie else has got 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you got Mickelson with 6, Ernie with 4. Then you got Rory with 4, Spieth with 4, Brooks with 4.
Spieth has 3.
Oh, goodness, I'm glad you're helping me. DJ, who's like the ultimate talent, has 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come to major championship conversations like this, it's a bird. It's the bird in the hand thing. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush kind of thing. And you go with the guys who've already got these things on their resume because there's only 4 a year, and they come and they go quickly. And you just got to show up there not putting well or not completely feeling 100% or just one guy happens to play better than you. It happens fast. So right now, I'm not prepared to say, look, can he win many more than Rory and co? Yeah, absolutely he can if he plays like this all the time now. But golf is unpredictable. The very nature of the game is unpredictability, and the guys who get a handle on it are able to adapt to its unpredictability. So I'm here to say, look, I think when it's all said and done, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the future holds. If I
Pick
did,
somebody.
I'd buy lottery tickets.
Pick somebody.
I'm picking someone who's got 4 already.
Who? Brooks or Rory?
Who? I'm going to go
physical
Rory.
or the
I'm
mental.
going to go with Rory because I also don't know that Brooks is going to get to play many more major championships either.
That's the other thing is if
Yeah.
you're going to pick somebody who has 4, it has to be Rory because the outlook for Brooks playing in
Not good.
40 more majors is
Yeah.
not particularly great.
No, I think next year's
It's-
Masters is his last
Yeah.
last one he's in, technically.
Which
now,
is
right.
that would suck, right? To not have Brooks at the major. Whatever you think about him, I don't love Brooks Koepka, but I do love having him at majors because he's one of the few characters in the game. You know, he's like a real character and somebody that's I think super interesting to write about, think about, watch, whatever. I'm with Mark. I think the right answer is either Rory or Brooks because I think one of them will win at least one more. And if you get to 5, I think that's like maybe Vince Carter dot get 5 is just a joke. 5 is so many, right? I guess I think that, I mean, Rory almost won his 5th last summer, right? And it's easy to kind of get caught up in the Brooks stuff right now. After he played so well at the Masters, I think the most logical, highest percentage answer is probably Rory. That probably feels dumb and sounds weird after how bad he was at Augusta, but I think that's probably the right answer.
He has a head start and he's got a lot of elite golf in front of him. I think that's the right answer. I give the honorable mention to Morikawa, who has.
I'm out on that.
Yeah, he looks. He doesn't. Colin Morikawa a couple seasons ago,
No.
he just looked lethal. He really did, even despite the putting. He's lost his luster a little
What's
bit.
the case, Rick? What's the case?
He's probably the youngest of these guys, right? I'm assuming he's already
Scheffler. Him and Scheffler.
Okay, so him and Scheffler. So they've got age. He is still a very good, if not elite, ball striker, and he's getting better everywhere else. The other thing is if we're talking about Morikawa, we're talking about 15 years. I've seen Jordan Spieth go through multi-year things that looked way uglier than anything we could ever have imagined from Colin Morikawa. I've seen a lot of guys go through these slumps, and Morikawa is not even remotely close to any. He had the worst season he ever had. He was the 3rd best approach player in the world. The dude is I think we treat him pretty differently because he won 2 of his first 8, but it is an unbelievable skill set to have in the modern game.
It is, but having been a former coach to these guys, you know when you're on the hot seat. And Rick Sessinghouse is on the hot seat. And if a coach in any sport's on the hot seat, what does that say to you? Player, team, whatever is searching for something. And so there's the search going on. Now, here's the challenge, because I've spoken to a number of these guys. Once you've made it to the top, then you fall off their hankering to get back there. And it starts to seem like it's the impossible climb. And you're trying everything. Stuff that came so easy doesn't come easy anymore. And then it becomes like a Rory McIlroy at Augusta National. What was inevitable is now people are looking at this going, he's never going to win. So I hear you. Look, he's a gifted golfer. They all are. But I'm stretching on Morikawa.
Think about how much better he's going to get in the next 5 years, right?
Is he? Is he though?
Why would he not?
What's the difference?
What if his iron play regresses even worse?
Hold on.
What if he becomes a much better? He has areas of his game where he can absolutely get twice as good.
He could also not.
But he also could.
Okay, here's my question, Rick. What's the difference between Morikawa and Xander?
Xander's just a much more consistent, high floor guy, well-rounded, doesn't do anything spectacular, doesn't do anything horribly. Colin has distinct volatility built into his game. And Colin is a much better iron and wedge player.
Morikawa has
Much
an elite
better.
skill set. Xander's just well balanced.
Xander's good at
I think-
everything. Morikawa has an elite talent.
I think okay. So only time this is a really good conversation, and we need to talk about the RBC Heritage at some point. But
Eventually,
I think this the Morikawa thing. The only time's going to tell. I think he kind of fell into one of those major. I mean, think about the end of that 2020 PGA. Like 9 guys could have won that, right? And so now we have these like, oh, he's won 2 majors at age 25 expectations on him. And I don't know if that's who he is. It might be. I don't know. Again, like only time will tell how that's sort of going to play out. I just don't know that he is wins 2 majors by age 25 type guy. I mean,
okay. So take away the one he fell into, and he has as many as Scotty Scheffler does.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Spieth missed that 3-inch putt in the 3rd round. Remember that one at Royal St. George's right before the final round
When he ran off like a kicker, a field goal kicker.
I'll in your corner, Rick. I think Morikawa has the best path to the career Grand Slam. I think his game's perfect for the U.S. Open and the Masters. He got the tough one out of the way with the Open.
He did. He got the tough one out of the way with his game at the Open. Yes.
But for the most, I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. I like that he's already gone through this valley in his career. He sets up great at the Open every year. We know what he does at Augusta National. He could, go there in his 40s and win for all we know.
50s,
So
60s.
I think Spieth has a legitimate chance to get to 5. And with Rory's, mental block, so to speak, Brooks' physical block, and potential not even getting into some of these tournaments, give me Jordy.
Hold on 1 second. Jordan Spieth is how did I get onto Dutch Wikipedia?
Real quick.
30.
How old is he's 30?
He's
Roughly.
29, I think.
So is Jordan Spieth going to play 30 more Masters? Because he might.
Yeah.
Like he's going to get 30 rips at majors built in.
He is, yes. But he like, and this is sort of what you guys try. He's not going to win a U.S. Open ever again. Like that's never going to happen again, right? He's probably, if we keep doing what we're doing at the PGA, not going to win a PGA. I almost feel like his only 2 chances a year are at the Masters and the Open Championship.
But they set up so well for him.
Yes, I agree, and I think I could obviously be talked into Spieth ending up at the most. I don't know. This is why it's such a fascinating discussion because everybody's got different numbers at different points in their career and plays better at different types of venues. And we haven't even talked about Rahm or Scheffler. I mean, Rahm legitimately could win 7 majors. I don't think he will because I think that's just there's just so many great guys and so few majors, which is the point of this entire exercise. But he could, I mean, he could win 2 more this year, right? Like I don't know. I love talking about that. I could do this for like 2 hours.
Josh wants Rahm. Josh will take Rahm at 2.
I never said I didn't like Rahm. I'm just saying you go with guarantees because these things are hard to win. They really are hard to win.
I think objectively the right answer is Rory because he has a head start. Because I mean, it's so hard to win 2 majors, and he has a 2 major lead over basically every single guy on this list that's not Jordan Spieth and Brooks Koepka, right? Like, it's so hard.
I'll throw 2 names at you. Freddie Couples, Davis Love. These were generational talents, right? They both got 1 each.
Norman has just 2.
2, exactly, yeah.
I think Gordon Sargent will win 7, so we haven't talked about him.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle.
7 world long drive.
Apparently, you like 190 ball speed. That's about where it ends.
Oh, I watched him on Thursday. Who was he with? He was with Jason Day and Zy Johnson. That was a tough scene for Zy Johnson, but his transition at the top is astonishing. It was like I've never seen anything like it.
Kyle, go take a cold shower, bro.
And Sean Martin, I was talking to Sean Martin about it. He was like, his hip speed is, I mean, like very Tiger-esque from like when Tiger was that age. Now, doesn't mean he's gonna pan out, but he's got a pretty clear path to being on the getting that. What's the PGA Tour U exemption when you get to 20 points?
They change it, but is it that? I thought it was top 5 now. Get a Corn Ferry card.
No, it is, but
one guy gets in the tour.
If you get to 20, they made points for all these different things, the Haskins Award, the NCAA, whatever. And he's halfway to 20. And if you get to 20, it's automatic. You're on the PGA Tour, which is sick.
I see Gordon Sargent, and look, he's gifted. He truly is gifted. But remember the movie Major League with Wild Thing? You throw gas, but it's kind of all over the show a little bit. Mm-hmm. When Gordon Sargent learns what DJ and Justin Thomas did, then he's going to be really good. He's got some growing time. If I was advising him, I'd say, don't leave college. Keep playing, keep dominating, keep learning. The tour is there. It's waiting for you.
But it's different. He's the number 1 amateur in the world. It's not as if he's not. It's not like Cameron Champ, where he's not winning in college, and he didn't. He clearly knows how to play golf and not just hit the ball. Yeah. So I think that's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think his scoring average is sub 69 in college.
Is that good?
Season. Some would say. Jury's still out.
What was his scoring average at Augusta National last week?
Not good.
I mean, first time out, come on.
Settle down, boys. Settle down.
We will talk about other things, but any final nuggets on the Masters that we need to talk through this instant that cannot wait?
This
is going to be a 3-hour podcast.
Who wins a major next, Rory or Phil?
Stop.
The Phil stuff is
he might win another. I'm not unconvinced.
I don't even have the vocabulary to describe the Phil stuff with how bad he has been for the last year everywhere in the world. And then he shows up here and flips just to flip the bird to everybody and play some great golf.
And people think that's. Go ahead, Mark.
No, after you.
I was going to say, people think that's a live take. That is not a live take. That is he hasn't been good at the Masters since 2015 take, right?
Not my opinion. This is completely objective.
Yeah, he's not been good at that has nothing to do with the high flyers, he's just not been good at Augusta. And then he is, and it's just, it's, I don't know. I came into last week thinking this is sad. This is not, he's supposed to be a king there. That was supposed to be the place that he kind of held court and ruled over. And that was how the last 20 years of his career and life sort of played out. And the beginning of the week was so sad. And then he lives this entire career in a week, and he leaves and he's a king again. And you're I don't, just the compression of time with him. We saw this at the PGA Championship is he lives these entire careers in single weeks, and it's crazy to watch see unfold.
I was just going to say, in my experiences with Phil, bearing in mind he hadn't played that well the last couple, when he drives down Magnolia Lane, something stirs inside of his soul. I mean, I've seen him come in there more than once when he was playing nicely or, relevant, and just have nothing. And then next thing he's contending. It's just the way the golf course sets up, the way he understands it. A left-hander around that place, it plays right into the alley because, the weak shot for a professional golfer is when the club face hangs open. And for a right-hander, that's to the right-hand side. And that's punitive on number 12, where Phil can draw it and something in there to the back hole location. In fact, he did on our channel and made a birdie. And you turn it away from all of the trouble on the left-hand side. So there's just something about the place, the way he plays around the greens and stuff. Always worked with him. But again, last week, Koepka, I was amazed and very surprised at how he performed.
KP, did you have one more thing you wanted to throw out there?
Yeah, I did. It's two things. One, Sam Bennett, gamer. Awesome. He's not, and I think this is cool. He doesn't have the talent of Gordon Sargent. Doesn't have the swing. Doesn't have the ball speed. He doesn't really have the result. I mean, he won the USAM obviously, but he's not he's not as consistently good in college as Gordon Sargent. But when chips are down, he just goes out and he's a gamer. Now, Does that translate over the long haul to a really good professional career? Maybe, maybe not. But it was really fun to watch for 1 week. And then the other thing is, I don't know why this didn't hit me until last week, but Spieth and Phil are the same player.
Yeah, that was great. I liked that.
Like one plays right. One's a lefty that plays righty. One's a righty that plays lefty. You know, like you need a map to follow them around the course. They are great champion. I mean, they're just like, they both talk incessantly about the swing and the ball and the physics, and I mean, they're the same player basically. And that's and then they got paired together, and it was just Spieth shot a palindrome on the front, 3 4 4 4 3 4 4 4 3, same backwards and forwards, completely insane. It's always an amazing event, and it was again this year.
I think they shot a best ball. What I see, 59,
58,
58. Oh, mamacita.
with 4 bogeys.
So good, so good. Here's what we'll do. We'll put a bow on the Masters. So we didn't always get a chance to do this. So let's just quickly, Josh, throw up the best bets from last week just for accounting purposes so we can go through here. We did pretty good on matchups, 3 out of 4 there. Patrick, you were the only loser. Patrick Cantlay over Jon Rahm. I love it when you do the thing where you pick either – you try to pick the match. Like Patrick Cantlay finished what, T4, and you ran into the one guy who won the golf tournament?
In all fairness, right when I said it, I said I hate this bet.
Yeah, you did. You did. Xander beat Cantlay?
Yeah, we might need to check the accounting on that one.
Check the tapes there, Josh.
Greg is slipping Josh some bucks under the table.
Yeah, and I think Sargent did. I think it was T19, maybe.
Oh man, we need Ernst & Young auditing this thing.
Too soon.
Oh, that was yeah. You got some contacts over there. Hold on. All right, show me the one. And do we have the one? Are the one and done results correct? Let's see what we have.
I don't think those are right.
All right, Xander finished.
Cantlay had a bad last round.
Xander beat Cantlay. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I stand corrected.
That's why you're slow.
I thought Cantlay was like T6 or something.
Apologize for the slander, Josh. We knew
Xander slander.
Xander slander. Hit me with the one and done. Do we have that handy?
I forgot who I had. I think I had Spieth.
You had Jordan Spieth, who Sunday earned you $744,000.
Rick, that Brooks pick was.
Oh, I know. I'll take it, but come on,
Chef's
man.
kiss. It was good.
Rory,
you needed that birdie on 18.
I did.
You had a putt for it.
I needed solo second. The fans and Sia found the mush of Rory McIlroy. $0 there. Greg had Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Xander, KP had Jordan Spieth, Sia and the fans had Rory. Kyle M with Jason Day, who, boy,
ejected.
Yes, he did. And then I had Brooks and Mark had Jordan Spieth. So as we talked about, Mark, tight at the top, my friend.
Who did you think I was pulling for in the final pairing Sunday?
Yeah, I have a couple of feelings. Certainly do. All right, there's the updated standings. Thank you very much. We are going to continue this conversation with the Heritage with our best bets, our one and done selections for this week. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
Absolutely magisterial here.
That right there, that promo is for the brand new CBS Sports Golazo Network, the first of its kind, free, Free, 24/7, 365-day channel dedicated exclusively to global soccer coverage. Now streaming on CBS Sports app, Pluto TV, and Paramount Plus. It's pretty sick. I need, who do we talk to get a first cut network, a 24/7 free, first of its kind channel dedicated to the global golf coverage? Who do we have to talk to about that?
I think Mark knows some people.
Talk to your friends there at the Win. Come on now.
We need some backing. We need some funds.
Yeah, exactly. Money talks.
That is sick that they have an entire channel dedicated to soccer. I don't know what's going to be on. Actually, I do. Morning Footy which is a morning show that begins at 7 a.m. Eastern, and then highlights and live matches and all that fun stuff. But that would be sick to have for golf.
It would.
What
Kind
would
of
we
called
call it?
PGA Tour Live, isn't it?
Well, PGA Tour Live's only 4 days. I need 24/7, 365.
All right. You can watch reruns on YouTube.
Second cut.
The second cut.
Second cut.
Yeah, I love it. All right, gents, Harbor Town, one of the most unique courses on the PGA Tour because precision generally better than power around this place. A couple of news and nuggets before we jump into this, Patrick, and you can take whichever one of these that you want. Rory McIlroy WD, Will Zalatoris back surgery out for the season.
I will take Zalatoris for 400, please. And
Go ahead.
It's a bummer, right? I mean, first came up week after he won there in Memphis, Kyle's favorite town. Withdrew from there with the same herniated disc, rested for 4 months, had to miss a President's Cup because of it, likely going to miss, the Ryder Cup because of it as well. And so I don't know why he just didn't get this surgery right away, this procedure, the micro discectomy. Probably just got a poor opinion. It happens from time to time, but it sucks because he's such like we were talking about Brooks and his presence at major championships. Like Zalatoris always brings something like edge of your seat. Like, oh my God, look at that putting stroke. Is he going to be able to make this 7-footer? Well, in major championships, he does. 6 top 10s in his 10 majors, which is ridiculous. Hasn't missed one since 2020. And I watched the match play. It was bad, the putting. And I wonder if it was, I'm totally projecting here. If it's, okay, my back hurts, I need to have this procedure eventually, combined with maybe some like mental strain with the putting, because he looked just flat out frustrated putting and like gassed to an extent.
May I add to that? When you got a lower back issue, practicing putting is next to impossible. People talk about the golf swing and stuff like that. And sadly, a lot of folks sort of saw this coming with the way his golf swing with all the side tilt he has, and then he rotates his body on that. And then what creates the leverage and the power for him is he pushes the lower body up into that tilted, rotated spine. So it was always going to be an area that was going to be tender. And sad that then you start to herniate discs and stuff. And this discectomy, once it's done, it's never really complete. That's the sad news about it. But if you've got a bad back, practicing putting is impossible. Jason Day spoke to me about that at length. And so Will Zalatoris, who works hard on his putting all of the time, that starts to go, and I feel like that may be why the putting starts to go sour as well.
Big bummer here, KP, obviously, because the talent level for Will Zalatoris, I mean, when you start Mark's right, like backs stink as a golfer, wrists, right? Like those are the things that you don't really want to be dealing with issues with. And the fact that he's 26 years old, and just big bummer here.
Yeah, I think the one thing I was thinking about is his presence at major championships, because I think you go back to the PGA Tour, and yeah, it stinks that he's out, but it's not. It's not. I mean, there's not very many guys that you're like, oh, I can't believe we don't have that guy the rest of the year, right? It's kind of Rory Rahm, maybe Scheffler. I don't know. Even if like if a Cantlay was out the rest of the year, you would notice it, but it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't devastate the entire season. I think the thing with Zalatoris is he's been awesome. I mean, think about the last 18 months of major championships, right? Or I guess 2 years since the 2021 Masters. He's been so good there. And I think it stinks for him from that perspective, but also it kind of opens the door a little bit. Not that he's won a bunch of them, but you could say like, hey, Zalatoris would have won the 2023 US Open. I don't know, whatever. It opens the door a little bit for guys to kind of walk in, and it's just one fewer guy among a pretty small group of guys that can win those big boy tournaments.
Yeah, big boy tournaments indeed. Couple of big boys, along with Will Zalatoris, who would not be playing this week. As mentioned, Rory McIlroy, WD, Jason Day not playing, Hideki Matsuyama not playing. Patrick, you tried to get out of the Rory McIlroy question the first time around. I will not let you do that. Didn't give a reason, doesn't need to, but this is notably the second designated event that Rory has missed, which will bring consequences that I understand are to be determined.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if a WD counts as a skip technically, right?
Interesting.
Like, I think that could be a way. Like, because look, say you skip one and then you do hurt your wrist or whatever it may be. We obviously don't know what's going on with Rory, but I don't know. Maybe there's kind of a wraparound situation there. But without knowing what happens, it's kind of tough to speak on. But it's not like the best look, in my opinion. You missed the first event after this new schedule gets rolled out in Kapalua, and then you're the first one to miss two as well after you're only allowed to skip one technically. And then you look more into the future, and look, you only had to drive 2 hours. After the U.S. Open, these guys are going to have to be coming from L.A. after getting their butts kicked cross-country to Cromwell, Connecticut for the Travelers the week after. I mean, that's probably going to be a hot spot for guys skipping that one, using their one skip is probably going to be the Travelers when you think about it. So I don't know. It's just really tough without knowing why he WD'd. And, I'm sure it's a great reason. It's Rory McIlroy, but it doesn't really come off great when, you're the face of the PGA Tour and you're missing these designated events. And with this one, this is technically the 8th with the Players and the Masters. He'll be gone from the weekend in half of them. So it's not fantastic.
No, it's not. I was shocked by this. Whenever, his play was so uninspired last week and so disappointing. I think if you're, a fan of wanting to see somebody kind of make a run at the Grand Slam, and I was stunned that he withdrew. That news came across Monday morning, yes. Patrick, and we had it in. You and I were talking about, or the news came across Slack, and I think both of us were like, whoa, like that was just, it was shocking. So pretty, not a ton of noise from his camp, just in terms of why or what happened or whatever. So I think it's worth waiting to see what the reason is. I think Rory's been, he's, and most of these guys are, but just a very the consummate professional of just showing up, doesn't duck a lot of stuff even after playing poorly. So I was pretty stunned by that. It makes me wonder what all is, what's going on.
The other thing, Mark, is Jordan Spieth was speaking about how I think he said how mentally tired he was before the Masters. And then you go through the Masters, you've got Harbortown here, an elevated event the week after. It has been a lot of golf for the top players in the world to kick off the year.
It has, and Rory's obviously spoken of the toll that being one of the PGA Tour's figureheads has taken on him, not physically, but more mentally and emotionally. And I'm sure last week for Rory, because I got to see him for 6 holes when he came through Amen Corner. He just looked lethargic. Some of the swings he made looked like they were out of control. Kyle uses the word uninspired. I saw some of that, and I saw more confused than anything else. It was a guy that it sort of looked like he didn't have any clue where the golf ball was going, which was strange because at the match play he looked like he had everything on tape. So it was a strange sort of decision. But there's got to be something that's going on beneath the surface, because for him to duck the media Friday at Augusta National and then all of a sudden to withdraw, there's something going on. And if it was injury, you'd hear the mechanics for the withdrawal. You'd hear the camp go, well, Rory's not feeling well, or Rory's got this or whatever. With the silence is telling for me, and eventually it will come to light. But right now I'm somewhat concerned, to be honest.
Did he duck the media?
Yeah, from what I heard, you were in the press building there, but from what I heard, he didn't take questions at all.
I think it coincided with with the weather delay.
Okay.
It was happening right as everybody was clearing the course. So it certainly was good timing if you're him. I don't know that he necessarily declined it though. There have been times in the past where he has, and that's, you know, not always great.
From my experiences with him when I've been on the course or when I've done another type of show where we'd have to interview, he was always very candid and very open to taking even quick questions. So when I didn't see any transcripts from him, I found it curious.
Yeah, like this is not what you're doing, Mark, but people in the comments are. If your take is like Rory doesn't want to face the media, literally nobody does more media than Rory McIlroy.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Like that's,
Absolutely.
I mean, so whatever. But yeah, it is a little like, wait a second, what's going on here? I'm interested, and you know, he's going to play Wells Fargo presumably, and then PGA Championship. So maybe it's a just like, hey, I'm like Spieth, I'm worn out type thing, and then you can maybe criticize him for the Netflix thing of like, hey, if I can play all these events, so can you guys. And if he's now, and again, you wait for the reason, I guess, but it is going to be an interesting one.
Hey, Rick, I might use Rory at Wells Fargo.
I have a feeling you would, and that would be a pretty good spot to use him. Do you think it would be worth the PGA Tour having someone face the media, someone from the tour face the media every single week, like a weekly press conference with, doesn't have to be Jay Monahan. It could be Jason Gore. It could be the vice president of PR. I feel like the idea that Rory and JT and Spieth and like all these guys have to play golf and also be the spokespeople of the tour in what is just a crazy world of golf, that if someone every Tuesday at noon answered all the questions from the media, would that help these guys, or would they still get asked the same stuff?
Yeah, I mean, not every week, but yes, at the big boy event, at the elevated events, have somebody out there. I think that's, given where golf is and what's been going on for the last year, I think that's not only a good idea, but I think it would be helpful to everybody, the media, the tour, and the players.
Well, help me understand then, because I have thought that. But with other leagues, how often do you hear from the commissioner?
Yeah, but other leagues aren't member run, right?
Yes. No one's asking Ja Morant about why the play-in tournament is going to change the structure and relations of global golf. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it just doesn't work that way. And Adam Silver, I don't know how often he addresses the media. I feel like it's pretty regularly, but I don't know if it's like a normal cadence.
Yeah, I think the past 2 years it would have definitely been helpful. I know Monahan did the roundtable at Kapalua with some media early on, and then we saw him at the Players Championship. So twice in 4 months, just doing that like once a month maybe, just like a roundtable with media, let everyone write what they need to write so everyone can know. That'd be enough.
The dirty little PR secret too is that when you're doing it more frequently, you can get away with saying, oh, you know what? I'm not sure, or I'm not ready to give that answer. Let me get back to you, because you're doing it every 10 days or every 2 weeks or every month, as opposed to if you only do something a couple of times a year, you're expected to offer like groundbreaking information every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, I got a time for you, same time, blah, blah, blah. Come and talk to me.
You might also need some reps. Get some reps in.
Get some reps in. Yeah, get some reps.
I mean, I think it would. Yeah, I think it would be. Again, I don't need it at the John Deere and the Colonial and, you know, everything, but yeah, I think it would be. I think that's a great. Is that like? Are you just riffing, Rick? Or
I've been thinking about that for a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Just because I think that these guys, I think the players are asked to answer questions about the organization in a way that other athletes are not. And I think it creates a situation where, like, if Rory says, oh, they're mandatory events, or, oh, we're not sure if they're mandatory, like, they shouldn't also be the de facto voices of the league for official league communication.
Well, and there have been moments over the last year where Tiger will say something and then you get PGA Tour, or not Tiger or other people will say something. You get PGA Tour PR being like, oh, well, that's like maybe not exactly how it is. Right. You're like, well, wait a second. Like, we need this to be more streamlined than what is happening here.
Right. And then the players can direct any questions that they don't want to answer to so-and-so of PR who will be speaking at 3:00 today. Answer all your questions.
It's a great idea.
Thank you.
And it would be probably more I don't know about accurate information, but just cleaner information.
Yeah. It would be official information.
Yeah.
It's like what we're looking for. I don't need anybody speculating. I want like official information.
Yeah, we don't need Ja Morant heading PR for NBA.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
I mean,
that was the first name that came to mind. He definitely would not be heading PR
What a pick.
for the NBA. Yeah.
Okay, Rick, let's get to picks.
Let's get to picks. So here is what we have done for this week. And actually, before we get to picks, let's hear a word from our partners.
Bring on the roars. Major style points. Oh, yes.
Well, what was that ball?
Play it again, Josh.
Bring on the roars. Major style points. Oh, yes.
Oh, it was the plaid jacket ball.
Tartan, yeah.
Tartan ball.
Sorry. Did you see the hoopla today? They Spieth shooting off the cannon and Davis Love the third out there and the infantrymen.
I love that.
It's a
What a
tradition.
what a
That's-
sport.
Welcome to the low country, baby.
Yeah, for sure.
The picks. This is where we take $100 Nuggets points over to Caesars Sportsbook and we allocate them as this: 50 on a matchup, 30 on our finishing position of choice, and 10 on two separate outrights. Please display me the grid. There it is in all of its glory. Patrick, give me your matchup for this week's RBC Heritage.
Unlike last week, I love this bet. Colin Morikawa -120 over Jordan Spieth. Morikawa, you think about this golf course, really accurate off the tee, pristine iron player. I think like a third of the approaches are 175 to 200. Right in his wheelhouse. Spieth, running on fumes. His words, not mine. Still has that big left miss in the bag, which can get sketchy around here. So give me Morikawa -120.
Patrick, Colin Morikawa over Jordan Spieth. Mark, you're going with one of Patrick's nemesis.
I love this.
What is your matchup, please?
Tom Kim over Justin Thomas. And for the record, I actually thought, I know he's running on gas, but I was kind of liking the defending champion over Colin Morikawa in that game that Patrick picked over there, just for the record. But Tom Kim looked stout to me last week. JT is just unconvincing, honestly. I know he's a preeminent iron player and such, but golf is played with 14 clubs, and right now Tom Kim has got all 14 clubs operational, especially the putter. And with these small greens, he's accurate. I think it's time for him to kind of make hay on a golf course that should suit him.
Tom Kim, even money over Justin Thomas. I'm just going to take the guy who never, ever fails at Harbor Town. Matt Kuchar, 15 cuts made in a row, 13 straight years gaining from tee to green, playing great golf. I'll take him over Corey Connors, which leaves us with you, KP, your matchup for this week.
I've got Max Homa over How about Matt Kuchar being -120, by the way?
Wild.
That's
People are
crazy.
steaming him right now.
Max Homa over Xander, number 5 player in the world. Max was playing really good golf until the Masters last week. He hit the ball wonderfully at this course last year, didn't putt it at all, finished like T41. So this feels like a toss-up to me. You're getting a toss-up number. I'll take the plus money.
Kuchar over Connors, Morikawa over Spieth, Homa over Xander, Tom Kim over JT. Our favorite finishing positions, we've got 2 top 20s, a top 10, and a top 40. KP, I'm going to throw it right back here to you. Yours is the most ambitious. It's the top 10. Who is it, please?
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler, top 10. He hit it. I think he was second in the field, tee to green last week, which is who he's been all year for the last 16 months, Rick.
So good.
Couldn't putt it at all. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he plays this golf course, right? Because I think he's a very underrated iron player. He's been number 1 or number 2 in the world in iron play so far this year. It's basically him and Morikawa. But is some of his long game neutralized by the way this golf course sets up? But regardless, I still like him to finish in the top 10.
Patrick, you and I have opted for the top 20s. I am much more bullish on Justin Thomas than Mark is. I just think the number has slipped much too far. The pendulum has swung too far. JT hasn't been that bad. I obviously worry about the putter, but at plus 130 to finish inside the top 20, he's my selection. You've gone for a much longer top 20. Who is it?
I'll go with one of his former teammates, I believe the junior Ryder Cup back in the day, Denny McCarthy, top 20, 4-1. Last 3 stroke play events outside the Honda, which I believe he was under the weather for. He's been inside the top 20. That includes a Desi at the Genesis Invitational. Played pretty well there at Pete Dye Design, Austin Country Club. Just ran into Rory McIlroy there, as we all saw. The putter hasn't been fantastic. And with Denny, you gotta imagine it comes back with Denny McCarthy, and the putter has played well at this course. So at 4-1, I will take him for a top 20.
Yeah, 4-1 for Denny to finish on the top 2 pages. Denny at a Desi is where Patrick is going for this week. And Mark, you've got the top 40, the lone top 40. And I have to say, hat tip on this one. I endorse. What is it?
I saw a few top 40s that were intriguing. Justin Rose was plus money. You could get him for a top 40. Christian Besaidnote, who's played very well here, was like plus 125, 130 maybe. But I'm going for a guy from Greenwood, South Carolina. Played college golf at Clemson. Loves the area. He's coming off 2 top 10s his last couple of events. A very accurate Ben Martin, and there's a comfort factor around here, and I think he slides into that top 40 pretty easy. I'd actually go. I'd back him to finish a little higher, to be honest.
Oh, Mark is feeling Ben Martin this week. Okay, gents, let's talk about our outrights. And as I scan this card, I see some interesting names. Kyle, I'm going to go to you because you have not only the shortest selection. Oh, you almost have the longest. Yeah, the second longest selection as well. So where'd you go?
Yeah, Cantlay obviously plays great here. Lost in a playoff to Spieth last year. I think that I don't love the number. 12-1 is pretty short, but I do think he'll play very well again this week. And then Tom Kim, he didn't play very good golf from January to basically last week. He was fine. He was okay. It wasn't the level that we kind of were accustomed to him playing at the end of 2022, certainly. But he played really well last week. He finished T16. He hit it very well. To me, this is a golf course that, we talk about courses where shorter guys have a better chance, and that's this one for me with him. And I think that I'm excited about that. I'm excited about him sort of coming in off a hot week, and I think he could do some damage at 40-1.
Yeah, should be a pretty good litmus test for someone that, for what golf Twitter has described the skill set of Tom Kim to be. So excited for Tom Kim this week, 40-1. I've said, let me unite all of the ball strikers who cannot putt. I found Colin Morikawa at 18-1, and I share my second selection with you, Patrick. Would you like to reveal to the world who it is?
Justin Thomas, 25-1. I'm with you, Rick. I think this number's gone a little too deep. And look, JT, he hasn't really contended yet, but he's still top 20 in each of the tee to green metrics over the last 3 months. He's putted these greens well. So if the putter comes alive, look out for Justin Thomas. And then House, Tyrrell, Hatton, 45-1. Truthfully, I thought I was going to bet Shane Lowry, but then I saw Hatton at a longer price, and I was like, sure, let's do that. Finished third here when all the boys came out and play after COVID in 2020. And him too. He's putted these greens well. Didn't really have a great Texas swing. We all know he doesn't like Augusta National, so he'll find out some comfort level here, hopefully at 45-1.
He would look quite dapper in a tartan jacket. I would like to see Tyrrell.
Already got the cardigan too,
Yeah,
so.
I like that. He's a low key fashionable guy. Doesn't get enough credit for that. Everyone wants to just talk about the attitude. I don't think
Tyrrell Hatton's a low key fashionable guy. I've got some photos to prove that.
I'm with you, that guy.
He's no Keith Mitchell. We'll just
send him over. I'll be happy to review my stance on this, but I like his fits. Mark,
I will do that as we speak.
Thank you. Mark, round us out here with your 2 selections to win the RBC Heritage.
I'm really hot on Patrick Cantlay, but the number was a bit short. I think, look, I know Jordan Spieth is tired, but Jordan Spieth won this thing last time he was there. He hit it all over South Carolina and won. Beat Patrick Cantlay in the playoff. And he's the kind of guy, when you get some adrenaline going, anything's possible. And I think the adrenaline's surging through his veins right now, and he's playing well, which is a big deal. And then Victor. Give me Victor Hovland over Justin Thomas every day of the week around this place. The way he's striking it, the confidence he has. He's really made inroads around the greens. And to those greens, they're so small that you don't see the incidence of 3 putts very often unless the wind really starts to blow. This is more making putts from like 15 feet and in. You got to make a lot of those sorts of things because that's what you see with the smallness of the greens. And last week, whenever we had him, because he was part of the storyline, obviously, his putting stroke looked really tight to me. So I love Hovland this week.
Stay out of the water, Victor. There are sharks and snakes and things that you don't want to get involved with, but otherwise should be good on the golf course. That's JT, Cantlay, Victor, Spieth, Tom Kim, Terrell Hatton, Colin Morikawa as the outrights for the group. And I'm not going to skip it this time, Josh. We also have a best bet that, in full disclosure, for some reason on the outline, I just constantly skip over this, but we take an extra 50 bones and we put it on anything in the world that we want. Patrick, as you tend to do, you doubled down on something else that was already on your card. What is it for this week?
This is all about just inching towards the black, and I need a big one. And so this would get me about a bet away, I think. So Denny
I love
McCarthy.
that when you hit a 4-1 to be a bet away from being even.
Yeah. If these 12 things happen,
this
I'll
usually
be in the
doesn't end
black.
well. Yeah. Not good.
So Rick, first hat tip to you for always skipping this segment. I greatly
We're not
appreciate
very good at it. So yeah.
But I love Denny McCarthy this week. I think he has a fantastic shot to contend in this tournament. So top 24 to 1.
KP, again, you have also opted to. Did you double down or did you just no? You just got another bet in on a guy that you like. What's your best bet?
Yeah, I did. I'm a bet away from joining you boys in the red here, so that's not great. Yeah, Max Homa top 10. He had a bunch of top 10s going into the Masters. He's struggled at major championships. That's fairly obvious, I think. I don't think anybody is trying to convince people otherwise. But I think that he rebounds this week, has a really good week, and notches another top 10 in a Desi.
This is catching fire already. I've said, give me Ricky. Well rested, playing great golf, top 40, even money. Don't forget Ricky Fowler. Hit it, Josh.
He's looking at my Terrell picks.
Ricky Fowler.
He wasn't ready for that one. Just hit it again while we have it.
Ricky Fowler.
For me, even money. Mark, we don't have a drop for your guy, but maybe he says something weird or does something weird. Maybe we can make one for him.
Yeah, Seabass. I mentioned him earlier. He loves this golf course. Mentioned to me that it might be one of his favorites on the tour. And he's playing beautifully. New instructor. He's always very accurate and a super putter around the greens. So top 40, I think you could take that one to the bank. It's time for me to win one of these.
Hey, do we have numbers on our other bets? I have no idea where I stand. I might be in last, so maybe I shouldn't ask for this. Like our just regular, like not the money bet, not the best ball, but the just overall numbers.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Three of us are in the green. Mark
EY's
is very close, and Patrick is a 4-1 winner, an outright, and a bet away from being black again.
So I really need Terrell Hatton to win this week, and I'll be up there.
Patrick, this is.
I don't think this is correct, honestly.
You should hope.
I'll have to go through. I think
it's
there
great.
must have been some funny business on some of the Sunday
Well, I think
shows
what's
haven't been a part
crazy is you've only hit one fewer than. Well, I guess you've had a few, 6 more than me.
Yeah, but
you've only.
I think we're entertainers at heart. I'm just trying to get our net profit in return right around 0. So it's kind of everyone can.
Patrick,
I don't know where I'm going with that.
Patrick opts for the longer shots as well, Kyle, compared to you.
When they hit,
but when they
which
hit,
they will
eventually.
I hope they do.
a good thing you play with other people's money.
I don't.
All right, well done. That leaves us with one last thing to do, gentlemen. It is the world famous one and done. And I can tell you that we have chosen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different golfers.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
This is going to be good. Reveal it, Josh. Yeah, here we go. Wow. All right. So from the bottom up, Greg, who is at 4.5 million, has opted for Patrick Cantlay. He is a lone wolf of a golfer who has finished inside the top 10 3 times in the last 4 years and is one of the betting favorites. Cantlay for Greg. Patrick, you have a $1.3 million lead on Greg, but you are $700,000 behind Kyle. You have opted for, oh boy, it's going to be a big week or a small one for you, bud.
House Tyrell, baby. Yeah, they burn down every now and then, but I like it. I think he's due for a great week and, maybe a win. He hasn't won in a while. So 3.6, I'm already counting my dollars.
Okay. Lone wolf there for Patrick. Another loner, KP, 6.5 million. You are stuck right in that middle core here where you're $300,000 behind Sia, but you're only $800,000 behind your namesake Kyle M. So you're right there within. This is the tight pack in the middle.
Yeah, it doesn't look great on the leaderboard, but I'm like one back of third place.
Yeah.
Right?
Not a lot of people between you and the top.
one win and then a 5th from being in 3rd or being in 1st.
A 5th
and a win.
Well, no, I think I'd need like 2 wins, right?
Well, if you get 3.6 this week, that gets you to 10.1.
Oh yeah, I can't do math. I'm an idiot. You're right. Yeah, this is like I'm like Patrick Reed on Sunday afternoon at the Masters. I'm like one back of 3rd place. I'm not going to win, or I'm not going to get to 1st, but I could certainly get to 2nd, or excuse me, to 3rd. So
you can be in the storyline. Yeah.
I love, Mark Scott Fitzpatrick. Damn. That's pretty good. That's going to be a problem. I'd like triple down on Homa though. So here we are.
Spoiler alert, Mark has Matt Fitzpatrick. We'll get to that in a second. Sia Nejad, I just hate this. Sia's at 6.8. I have the same guy. It's Victor. And generally, when you are attached to Sia's selection, it doesn't go well for you. Ask the fans about.
Well, why here, Rick? Why? I mean,
so
he's panicking now because he's close. Now he wants to try and jam some heavyweight picks down my throat. Is what's happening. Yeah,
Mark.
You are.
If you think I'm panicking because things are going great, you've got you're the one panicking. Yeah. You're looking in the rear view, and I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, whatever.
I believe that this golf course allows him to lean into the parts of his game that are really good, right? Long and straight off the tee. Now, the other thing about this is he's a very, very aggressive second shot player, like probably to his detriment at times. Very, very aggressive. And these are small greens. And when you miss them, there's a lot of shots that come from greenside, but they're not like hard shots. Like the difficulty of around the green shots around this place, it ranks pretty low. So when you put all that together, he's playing great golf. He wants it, man. He's so close. I'm taking.
Yeah, I do. I a little bit am concerned about the same Scheffler thing with him. Is some of his, game, which is built on like hitting as far as possible, neutralized by this golf course.
Yes, but his one skill set is not drive it far. He's also very accurate. He's also like an awesome second shot player.
For sure. And I think it's different than you wouldn't pick Bryson at Harbortown, right?
No, I would not.
And it is different, but I was just wondering if you had any concern about that.
No, I mean, I've got concerns that like he's coming off a master, like a grueling match. Like I have concerns. And the real story is that this being an elevated event is getting a pretty unique class of top guys. Outside of 2020, a lot of these guys hadn't made it a habit of coming here. And it is such a different golf course than what we saw last week. So I have a lot of worries that this week is going to be quite chaotic, honestly.
Do you have concern over the wardrobe?
I generally am much more I like his wardrobe more than others, but there are some things that are not
Indefensible.
good. Yes, even I cannot protect him from.
Even he went away from it on Friday.
Yeah, I actually
the poopy brown.
Called an audible.
The flower shirt, it actually kind of grew on me. I was kind of in on it by the end of the week. The green pullover though was, I mean, it looked like a Lego like field that my kids build.
The fact that the Azalea shirt sold out worldwide,
sick. It might be. It's a so bad it's good situation.
Yeah,
it's like when you look at it, you see something new every time.
I was up on the Azalea shirt, but I was confused because we got a close up of him in the monitors, and every single one of his sponsors, you couldn't read who they were in between all the azaleas and the different colors and stuff. So they weren't. I'm sure the sponsors weren't enjoying it.
Oh yeah, do we want to talk about this on air, Josh?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just round this out.
Okay,
I do want to talk about it. So fans and Kyle M went with Jordan Spieth. Kyle M has been making a run, if you haven't been noticing. So he's now in third. He's about 100,000 up on the fans. As I mentioned, I went with Viktor Hovland. Mark, you are clinging to your lead, and you gave us Matthew Fitzpatrick, also known as Matty Fitzpatty.
Yeah, I considered Patrick Cantlay. Then I realized I'd used him at the Players. Jordan Spieth I used last week. He was interesting to me. Shane Lowry was the only one who I really considered sort of on a par with Fitzpatrick, because Shane has played well here, but there are plenty of places I can fit him in down the road. As for Viktor Hovland as well, I'm saving him for a bit of a stretch run. So I'm going with a guy who, for goodness sake, has got a lighthouse head cover on his golf bag. He's played well here before. He's past the neck injury from what I can understand. And last week with the top 10 looked really sound. So I think he's bringing good vibes to the Low Country.
Here we go. For those just listening, Mark, 10.9 million, Matt Fitzpatrick, Rick, 10.2, Viktor Hovland, Kyle M, 7.3, Jordan Spieth, the fans, 7.2, Jordan Spieth, Sia Nejad, 6.8, Viktor Hovland, Kyle Porter, 6.5, Max Homa, Patrick, 5.8, Terrell Hatton, and Greg, 4.5, Patrick Cantlay. Those are the selections for one and done. KP, your family gets together every major, right? Not just the Masters.
We do it every major.
Every major.
Yes, we do. And
you snake draft a selection, or is it just one through? How do you do it? How do you draft them?
It's sorry, I'm trying to share my screen right now. It's snake draft.
Okay, so everybody in the family gets a team, and I believe the prize is in dairy form. I believe it is ice cream. Is that correct?
Yeah, a pint of ice cream to the champion. Mm-hmm. I can't share my screen, Josh. So if you can find the tweet and pull it up in dairy form, yeah, that would be.
Could be. I guess ice cream could be non-dairy. I don't know.
What kind of flavors does everyone like?
Banana pudding is a house favorite. So there's a great local place called Tongue in Cheek, which is a terrible name, but it's great ice cream. Strawberry cappuccino crunch is my wife's favorite, and the boys have kind of latched onto that.
Wait. Say
it's
that
very
again?
good. Cappuccino crunch.
Oh, I thought you said Cap and Crunch. I was like big in on Cap and Crunch.
No, it's cappuccino crunch. So all of those are hits. They've got a Cadbury egg during Easter season that's pretty solid. So it's premium ice cream. It's very very good.
Do they ship?
Yeah, you could probably like Gold Belly it.
Imagine saying that to someone 15 years ago. You could Gold Belly it.
Imagine telling somebody I wrote about this for CBSSports.com. Imagine, you know how many people saw the Gene Sarazen 2 on 15 in 1935? You know how many people were around the green to see that?
No.
12. Fewer than live in Bryson's content house.
Wow.
And now, if somebody makes a 2 on 15 to win the Masters, or to get into a playoff to win the Masters, 1 billion people would see it in 10 minutes.
You could Gold Belly tongue in cheek is probably a unique sentence that no one has ever said before until I just said it right now.
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
But that's a real sentence.
Gold Belly is when you ship food, Patrick, from like if you wanted to ship something from Los Angeles, that is only made in Los Angeles. You could ship it across the country. It's basically a logistics company that does food.
Yeah, you can get like In and Out anywhere, or you can get like the New Haven pizza shipped somewhere else.
Like packaged, sealed, like everything. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just
Gotcha.
said, Patrick, I'm with you. I just found the website. I'm all in.
Yeah, I might
Thanks
have
for the
to.
cappuccino crunch ice cream. Let's go, Kyle.
I know. My ears perked up on that one too.
It's extraordinary. It's very good. If I could, I mean, it would. You can probably do it for cheaper than I could do it for by like getting dry ice and trying. It would be a disaster. But
Science
you should
experiment.
cappuccino crunch from Tongue in Cheek. Free marketing. They should pay me. They should give me a free pint.
I was going to say they just got like a 5-minute ad, so they can pony up for a pint or two, I think.
Okay, Josh. Yeah, he should have it. This is
he's going to show us the pool, the draft results.
Okay, so we go snake draft. Jack had first pick. Tough scene there.
Rory 1 overall. See ya.
Hannah, Jack's 6, Hannah's 9. She'll be 10 actually next week. She had second pick. Then Jude, me, my wife, and Sadie, who's 3 and just a complete menace to society. And she had the last pick of the first round, second pick of the first pick of the second round.
So I'm just kind of browsing through these teams. Like I have no idea who won. So Kyle had Rahm, but Sadie,
Jude's doing pretty well, wasn't he?
yeah. Jake
Okay, so here's let me tell you the scoring. So you get the player's total score, but if they miss the cut or withdraw, you get that round's average plus 3.
That's going to be tough for Sadie. She's got Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger. So Tiger on the week. So he missed the last 2 rounds. So he was, I think the scoring average in round 3 was 2 over and then 1 over in round 4. So you add 3 to that. So it was really 5 over and 4 over. So it can start to, balloon in a hurry.
And as good as you had Rahm, Morikawa, Homa, Zalatoris, and Connors are just like dead weight for you.
Destroyed me. I finished. So actually, my wife finished last because she had Oosthuizen and Bubba. They were a combined 35 over using our scoring system. And DJ was 8 over. Cam Smith was 4 over. Brooks was her only player under par. Jack finished second to last. Rory and JT just killed him. Bryson didn't help him either.
Oh. That's a shame. I actually feel bad for Jack. That go to get Rory JT. You're thinking, here we go, baby.
He has the major championship pedigree on that roster.
Totally. I finished third to last because Zalatoris and Connors and Homa didn't play very well. And then the top 3, Sadie finished third against all odds. Her draft was a circus.
The menace with the menace, Phil. Of course, she gravitates towards Phil and gets the T2.
Complete menace to society. Hannah finished second. Her worst player was House Tyrrell. He was 4 over. Fleetwood was 3 over. All of her guys made the cut.
Made the cut. Yeah, she should get a half a pint for that call.
And then Jude won. All of his guys made the cut. Jason Day tried to kick it away at the end.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah.
But Spieth and Xander brought it home for him. So he finished at 7 under while Hannah was 5 under.
Wow, close.
Well done, everyone.
Which one did Jude get?
He goes cappuccino crunch, of course.
Nice.
Of course.
All right, real quick, couple items. We'll get out of town. Really quick here. Patrick Cantlay has responded to the slow play allegations of Brooks Koepka. He has said, and I quote, "The group in front of us was on the second tee when we walked up to the second tee, and we waited all day on pretty much every shot. I imagine it was slow for everyone." End quote. So Patrick Cantlay does not believe there was a problem.
There was a lot of slow play out there. I think Cantlay is generally slow, so I think it is a problem, but it wasn't just him on Sunday.
The other player in the group on Sunday with Cantlay also said they were waiting all day and that Cantlay wasn't really that big of a problem.
And then you see like the internet run wild with it, with Vic hitting a chip shot on 13 early or walking up the fairway on the side. No. Last round major championship,
Yeah, Cantlay
tough pins.
Cantlay just gets it because he looks slow, right? It's the toe tap, it's the looks at the hole, it's all that other stuff. That's why he gets it, whether they're waiting or not.
Mhm.
And the rain pants. Ugh, almost as bad as Victor's scripting.
Okay, Patrick Cantlay's got the worst fashion on the PGA Tour, and because of the sponsors that he goes, that it's obscene.
Speaking of, do we know the firm that does these player logos? Because he has a pretty bad one. It looks like Presbyterian College or something.
It does look like BC. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
They're
LGC's is kind of good.
Zalatoris has one of the few. I mean, they're all terrible. JT's is bad.
They're brutal.
Tigers is it's fine. It's good, I guess.
Adam Scott's is above average because it's like a mirrored AS type deal. It's like a lower.
But also, like you don't have to do. Everybody thinks they have to do the letters. You don't have to do that.
No, you do not.
Bryson has the hat. It's Bryson's is him.
That's
it's bad too, but it's at least creative.
Phil's a good example.
Bryson's got a new one with letters. It's like B.
Yeah.
D,
oh, he does. Right. That was really bad on his hat.
It looked like a book opening or something. All the live guys have the same logo. Yeah. Like the same personal logo.
There's a company, I cannot remember the name, that redoes all the minor league baseball. And it's like how you get the trash pandas and how you get the yard goats and how you get
the banana.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever they're called. And like now these teams make like more money in merchandise than they would if they sold out every game of the season, right? Because people from all over the world are buying their merchandise. They should hire them for golfer logos.
Totally. And I do Phil gets credit for just having the jumping Phil logo. It's kind of ironic, but it's unique, and do more stuff like that. Rory's logo should be the dog. Like that should just be his logo.
Yeah. Which actually Nike did a rendition of, right?
Yeah. He's got shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah. He should say transfer over the trademark on that. I'll use it.
I'm sure that's how it goes with Nike.
It's awesome to know like literally nothing about anything and you can just make these comments.
Yeah, just
really quick. We're almost done. 30 seconds. Show me the tee times. Everybody's going to pick. You have one group that you can follow. It's the only one you can follow. You cannot watch any other group, and Mark gets first pick.
I'm going with Rahm, Spieth, Scott.
Rahm, Spieth, Scott. That is 1:17 p.m. Eastern time off the number 1 tee. Patrick, you now get second choice.
Give me the top one. Little coffee golf. There's a potential open spot for the Ryder Cup. Maybe Mr. Sahith Theegala makes a push for it.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Also with Xander and Shane Lowry, bright and early, 7:55 a.m. Eastern. Not so much for them, more so for me. KP, you have 4 groups remaining. Which one would you like?
Scheffler, Webb, Cam Young.
Oh, that is
Paul Tesori back.
Oh. A little icy. No, they actually left on good terms. They left on great terms.
That's for sure not how it's.
I was building drama, is what I was attempting to do.
Yeah, thank you, Rick.
Scotty Scheffler, Webb Simpson, Cam Young, 1:06 p.m. Eastern time. So that leaves me with, all right, like obviously Sam Burns, Justin Thomas, Victor Hovland.
Of course,
right?
Obvious.
Yeah, and like the other ones are like, okay, Connors, Cantlay, Morikawa, sure. Or Homa, Fitzpatrick, Ricky Fowler. Now, Burns just won match play. JT's price too long, and Victor's going to win. So 8:17 a.m. Eastern time for me.
Be a fun day. Rahm, Spieth, Adam Scott is just a fiesta.
That's a good one. I do like that. All right.
Flushers only.
Well done, everyone. Absolutely well done. We got a lot through today. We'll be back after round 1, 2, 3, and 4 to recap all the other happenings of the RBC Heritage and anything else that happens between now and then. Big thanks. Producer Josh doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Patrick McDonald available on Twitter at Amateur Status. Mark Immelman at Mark_Immelman. Kyle Porter at Kyle Porter CBS. And you can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.